Hi, Kirsten here. I am a travel coach and I help women, specifically women of color professionals, create intentional and strategic plans for not only moving but also thriving abroad. So, I wanted to just do a quick video on how to create budgets when you are traveling or moving abroad. So, first, traveling. I know that right now, the time that I'm filming this video, it is November 1st and we are still in the middle of a pandemic, so obviously traveling is limited. Some places are opening up and some places are not. So if you are choosing to travel, make sure that you do it safely. Let me just say that first. So when you are going to travel and you are planning out your trip and you're planning out your finances, because you should always be fine. You always should have some type of idea of how much money you want to spend on your trip. Go a step further. I think a lot of us, kind of say like, oh, I want to spend, no more than $800 on this trip, or I only want to spend $500 on this trip, or whatever. Go a little bit further than that and ask yourself, what do I want to spend my money on? Where can I spend my money guilt free? Because I think that a lot of us, we got on vacation, especially if we haven't traveled for a long time. We are kind of like, oh, I want to do all the things. And then our money goes everywhere. And then we, come back with stories to tell and a very empty bank account. And so in order to prevent that, really just decide up front where you want your money to go. If you're like, I want to do all the extreme things and jump off the cliffs and go snorkeling and skydiving and all that crazy stuff, then, create your fund around that first. Create your budget first around the things that you want to do. And then kind of scale back from there. Think about, the little miscellaneous things, because you're always going to have, extra things. You're probably going to always have to buy extra things on your trip. Think about, what was I going to say? Transportation. Think about meals. Decide if you want to spend your money on eating out or if you want to try to prepare your meals. Really, I think a lot of the times, we think about everything and we kind of think about like limitations. Instead of putting exactly limitations on, think about where you just want your money to go and kind of create your money around the experiences that you want to have. And then, for example, if you know that like, okay, you're going to go to a beach or I don't know, you're going to go to the Caribbean, let's say that. You're going to go to the Caribbean and really for sure, you want to go snorkeling and you want to do the ATV ridings and you want to do like A, B, and C. Map out, look at the prices of the things that you really, really want to do, and then figure out how much that cost. Add some more money onto that, for hotel stays and like rentals and food and stuff like that. And then create your budget around the things that you want to do first, rather than kind of just saying, like, I think a lot of times when we're budgeting, we kind of just like make up numbers. We're like, oh, I only really want to spend like $200 on food, or I only want to spend like, $300 on shopping. I don't know. Be realistic. Don't just throw numbers out there because you think that's what you want to spend. No, get really, really, really specific, and that'll help you. Especially now, I think, because many of us have not traveled for a long time. We're like, our spending might get a little bit emotional and we might get excited and start just throwing money everywhere. Now, how to budget for when you live abroad. So I've been living abroad for 3 years, and so I've been living in Panama, and I lived in Colombia, and now I live in Spain, and all of those have very different, I've had to adjust my budgets very differently because there's different styles of living and different currencies. So when you move abroad, make sure that you are budgeting in accordance to the currency that you're having. So, and really try to understand the currency and the exchange rate of the country that you're moving to, because it's really, some countries, they work in like thousands, and like, 1,000 pesos is like, it sounds like a lot, but it's only like $5. USD. So really try to understand the currency before you go. When also you're moving abroad, again, kind of same advice as before, figure out how you want to live. Are you the type of person that, wants to have roommates when they move abroad? Do you want to live in a fabulous apartment? Or are you okay with, more simple, basic living? Are you a cooker? Do you like to cook? Or are you someone that you don't want to spend the time in the kitchen, you just rather go out and eat every day? So figure out exactly how you want to live your life first, and then calculate that number, and then look at your income and see if they match. If they don't match, then you can do two things. One, you can scale down on what you're doing. Like maybe you don't need to eat out 5 days a week. Maybe you can scale that down to 3 days a week. And then the other side of that is help can you increase your income? So, is there another side hustle? Is there a service that you can offer? Is there something that you can do that can help you make the income that you want to make, versus trying to scale back too much and then going overboard because you don't really want to live that life? Obviously, some sacrifices will be made, so maybe you gotta live below budget for a little bit until the money comes in that you want. But always, and also too, when you're budgeting, practice budgeting before you move abroad, so that way it gets easier when you move abroad, because it's going to be, in some places, some places are very card driven and you need a card to make purchases. Some places are not. Some places are very cash driven and they prefer cash. And cash can be a little bit harder to keep track of than card. So really create those better money habits before you move abroad. And it's going to help you, and then you're going to move abroad with less stress. You're going to be able to enjoy your new life abroad because you're not worrying about money all of the time. These are little things that people don't understand, and people always kind of look at the bigger picture of things. They think about where they want to live. They think about, oh, I want to live on the beach, or I want to be next to this person. I want to have this type of house, blah, blah, blah. But they don't really think about the day-to-day things, the day-to-day spending, the day-to-day interactions. So really take the big picture. It's good to have the big picture, but try to get as specific as you can, and that will help you to not just live abroad, but to thrive abroad, because what's the point of moving abroad if you're not going to thrive? I hope that was helpful. Please comment below which budgeting techniques you are going to use, or any other questions that you have around money and traveling and living abroad. Let me know, and I will be happy to answer them in the comments or in another video.